Hello everyone and welcome to my Chain Lightning Leveling Build and Guide for Season 3. I decided this season to make a single video guide for all the way from level 1 to 100. For that, I made chapters and videos to navigate on any specific level zone or transitions on the leveling process. The build is not dependent on gear, using mostly Codex dungeon aspects. Very comfortable to survive. Crazy amount of stuns in mid and end game. Good damage on all the leveling process. No mana issues sustainable with no gear investment. I used till level 70s the same rings I had since World Tier 2 with the dungeon aspects Prodigy and recharging. Now, there will be in the description of video 3 separate planners for all transitions to be made or Paragon shifts. Though I strongly recommend watching the video at least briefly on every chapter transitions as there are quite few important notes on the way. The planners are, first one for level 1 to 55 when playing Spark, plus Chain Lightning to alternate between skills and be able to sustain DPS and mana. Second planner and major transition, pure Chain Lightning by removing Spark skill from level 55 to 70 in World Tier 4, before doing Capstone Dungeon, and last planner for 70 plus to level 100 with full Paragon Board, and few shifts from mid-game Paragon, as then I favored getting the most out of it when we have low-level glyphs.
Take the rune, if you dare.
As every season I chose to skip campaign, and I do have all renown carried over from previous characters. So we do start with 10 skill points. 3 points going into Spark and his passive Glinting Spark for critical chance buff, the rest in Chain Lightning and his passive Destructive for Crackling Generation that will enable mana, sustain synergy, and extra DPS. Unlock also Flame Shield and Teleport skills. I chose to chase the seasonal quest early on to unlock the pet called Seneschal Construct and some governing and tuning stones. The pet is really not that impactful in the leveling process, sure helps a bit, but the stones need a lot of grind to level them up to be more impactful. In general, on the pet, you can play whatever else than what I did recommend on pet stones. The build will function the same. As you go out town after few kills, you can unlock conjuration skill Lightning Spear and Hydra. We only use Hydra as extra DPS till unlock the ultimate unstable currents and fireball enchantment slot at level 15. After unlocking the conjuration skills, go max out Chain Lightning to level 5. In the first planner, you do have a button to select leveling steps. We'll show you the whole order of picking or removing skills till level 50. I will go through the video only on the important steps or transitions. Do not be scared of feel overwhelmed. They are very few transitions and mostly 1 or 2 swap of skills or aspects till level 100. Basically, we play Spark plus Chain with Fireball enchant and Lightning Spear enchant till Capstone World Tier 4 with skill tree adjusted to that. Then, after it, we play pure Chain as we sustain mana all time, and remove Fireball enchant for Chain Lightning enchant to favor more mana sustain and single target damage in mid and end game. At level 15, go do the Sork quest to unlock the enchantment slot. Playing Fireball enchantment till World Tier 4. Also remove Hydra skill and swap for the ultimate unstable currents. All the way in the leveling process, remember that the most important is to keep improving your weapon by constantly changing to new weapon drops with higher power. Preferably go for 2-hand weapon in all the leveling process. The most important is to be higher power lever for higher base damage. The affixes do not matter much early on, but as a rule, focus get intelligence and all stats plus any additive damage that have high uptime. Important stats early on are on rings to have critical chance, and on gloves, critical chance or attack speed or rank Chain Lightning. Go for electrocution damage reduction passive early on to balance investing in glass cannon passive later for extra DPS. On the Seneschal Construct, I do recommend in the planners to go for governing stones, 1 melee and 1 ranged, with supporting stones for critical chance, mana gain, damage reduction, extra stuns or slows. It is very much random depending on what you will get drop, and they are not that impactful early game as stones are low level. Try focus on ones I recommend, but do not stress about it as if playing any other pet stones is perfectly fine. Grab Overflow Energy Key passive as soon as possible. With the Crackling Generation synergy, we do reduce ultimate cooldown, also teleport and lightning spear cooldowns. You can finish seasonal quest boss early on, and remember, always swap your weapon for higher power weapon if it drops. Between 25 to level 30, grab more protection passive for barrier generation, and glass cannon passive, and try to complete the dungeons required for codex aspects. At level 30, equip your second enchantment, Lightning Spear. With the recent update, Lightning Spear now also apply vulnerable constant beside plenty of stuns on critical hits, prodigy, and recharging to imprint them on any rings that have critical chance. I have played all the way to level 70s with same early rings and codex aspects. After level 30 focus to get ready for the first Capstone Dungeon, and level up to 40 or 45 either by doing seasonal events or world events or Domhain Tunnels Dungeon. I did the first Capstone Dungeon to unlock World Tier 3 at level 40, but I do recommend taking your time and doing it at 45, as you can only equip sacred items from World Tier 3 at level 45. Sure, if want to rush like me, go in at 40 if following my build is going to be easy enough. Important note in Capstone boss fight: swap Fireball enchantment temporarily for Chain Lightning enchant to get extra DPAs on single target, as Fireball enchantment is useless in a boss fight. Can check my gear before the fight, did not stress much about it, and certainly I recommend not waste materials for weapon aspect. In the planner, you have all recommended aspects, but except the rings aspects, none are mandatory. Have a couple of DPAs and defense aspects is enough. Do not over-invest early on, keep materials for World Tier 3 and 4, and try always use Codex aspects till mid-end game. Another note here on the seasonal aspect shredding blades: you do not need the skill Ice Blades for this to work and buff you. You do get extra vulnerable damage overall, so it is a cheap good choice, as we have constant apply vulnerable with Lightning Spear. Like said earlier, swap right before the Capstone boss fight the Fireball enchantment for Chain Lightning enchantment. I did not did it for purpose of video, and to be sure that is no issue even if some forget about. You will have extra DPAs on boss fight if do the swap. As you go in World Tier 3, your main goal is to get a sacred weapon. This makes a huge difference into comfortable farm early on the World Tier 3. You can only equip sacred items at level 45, so that is why I recommended go World Tier 3 at level 45 plus. The monsters will be a lot higher than you, even level 58 in Helltide, as can see in my gameplay. So beside weapon, also target upgrade all items to sacred ones. If you are more of a casual player or just like to take your time and enjoy the game leveling process, hell then go World Tier 3 at level 50, as the game recommend us. There is no shame in it, and neither slows you down crazy if chose to do so. You just get bit more faster leveling if go under level, that's all. As you change to sacred items can go farm easily, even under level world events or Domhain Tunnels. Finish the leveling to 50 so you unlock the Paragon Board. You will want to start be ready gear-wise for the next Capstone Dungeon at level 55, or if you want to take your time at level 60. The gear aspects or affixes you should aim from time to have some, if not all of the recommend ones in the second planner, the one for level 55 plus. You are chasing sacred items in World Tier 3, so then those are in second planner. But skill tree transition only after grab Static Surge Legendary Node. I did Capstone for World Tier 4 at level 55 as soon as I unlocked Static Surge Legendary Node. You can easily do same if follow my build. The few adjustments build and early Paragon Board is on the second planner. We will use pure Chain Lightning, removing Spark from skills bar, and swap it for Ice Armor skill. Also remove Fireball enchantment and get Chain Lightning enchantment. The skills and enchantment transitions do them only after grab Static Surge Legendary Node. Now, as soon you get a Dexterity glyph, any of the following: Territorial, Exploit, Destruction, or Control, put it in the first glyph spot. You will have the glyph second line bonus activated if follow Paragon on second planner, as it is made for low level glyphs. The final and full Paragon on third planner is optimized for leveled up glyphs range. After level 50, can start do nightmare dungeons for glyph XP. Try to level up only the glyph you chose first to level 15, as you need reach with it level 15 for glyph range to increase. This will allow you in future when you eventually grab second glyph spot on Static Surge board to have already a level 15 glyph with increased range. The spot on that board needs a level 15 glyph to activate second line bonus. You can always speed farm any content 10 levels above you if follow my builds. In my leveling process, I did even 20 plus above me for testing purposes more. Do not bother with pushing now, as build is not complete at that level, glyphs are not having range and so on. Try always keep it at max 10 levels above you in leveling process for efficiency. As you get ready for Capstone Dungeon, star slap some of the recommended aspects on sacred gear. You want Disobedience, Protector, and Ever-Living for Capstone and World Tier 4. Ever-Living is seasonal aspect reward for Codex. DPS aspects go for Control, and on Amulet can do fine-keeping Shredding Blades. Saying it again, Shredding Blades' vulnerable damage buff works even if not use Ice Blades. Anyway, if you got Tether aspect, go for it on Amulet. On the weapon, go for Edge Master. Even if use Codex version will be enough. Anyway, you swap weapon for Ancestral Weapon in World Tier 4. At about level 55, you should be able to rush the legendary node Static Surge. Now you should also do the transit for Skill Tree, remove Spark and swap for Ice Armor in Bar, also swap Fireball enchantment for Chain Lightning enchantment. After that is up to you if go jump in Capstone Dungeon to unlock World Tier 4 or farm more comfortable Nightmare dungeons and wait for level 60 plus. As you can only equip World Tier 4 ancestral items at level 60, and the monsters in Open World Tier 4 are even level 78. Like said on the first Capstone Rush 2, there is not need to rush it. You can even go casually finish it at level 70 and be more than ready for World Tier 4. I did it at level 55 and can be done since 50 in a slower way. But I did want this time to wait at least for Static Surge node. For the Capstone Dungeon, have some fire resistance gems for boss, but also cold resistance helps on some of the mobs in dungeon previous to boss fight. Remember, when you go World Tier 4, your resistances will get strike again by another penalty, and monsters are level 78, so as soon you get in World Tier 4, check what you are low on resistances, and be care fighting those type of damage monsters until fix resistances with new gear. Your first goal once you enter World Tier 4, and it will make huge difference, it is to grab an ancestral weapon. You can only equip it at level 60 plus. If you go under level 60, then look to stash any good ancestral gear and equip it immediate when reach level 60. I had no issue fighting even level 78 with my build at level 55 in World Tier 4, but I did had to play around missing resistances till I reached level 60 and could equip ancestral items. Also keep in mind, if go under level with the sacred items, you will lack some damage till you can equip the ancestral weapon. After that, all goes back to comfortable farm any content 10 levels above or more. If you go under level 60 in World Tier 4, you can jump in normal dungeons to unlock more Codex aspects or for Whisper Tree rewards, seasonal events or Helltide, even Nightmare dungeons or Vault's Nightmare Tier 20s, although they will be slow till you are level 60 and can upgrade to Ancestral Weapon, as that alone is like double damage buff. The monsters will be 20 levels above you if you did go World Tier 4 very early, so mind fix resistances. The build excels at huge amount of crowd control stuns. This is one reason why it's not hard to survive even under gear and under level, but must play around it till get level 60 plus. If you did go World Tier 4 at level 60 or more, all previous notes don't impact you. Just grab ancestral items, preferably with resistances affixes, and you will snowball World Tier 4 since join it. As for grinding the new vaults to upgrade pet stones, I personally ignored them as much I could in mid-game. I suggest focus them after level 70 plus when you will transit already into final build for leveling and have gear like I recommend in 3rd Planner, as that is more important at this level to have all gear set than the slow grind for pet stones. I did mostly Nightmare dungeons, very few Vaults Nightmare. I will show now the gear I had starting to farm Nightmare dungeons between 60 and level 70. As soon you are level 60, equip any decent ancestral weapon. Ignore my weapon aspect, was just better than the Codex Edgemaster. Sure, important affixes on weapon are intelligence and all stats, and any additives damage you have high uptime, but still favor higher power weapon first. You will want to wait for the proper ancestral drops to imprint aspects from 3rd Planner to be ready for 70+ leveling. Will not use Protector aspect more, that was just a cheap defensive aspect good early game. So grind for upgrade gear and aspects Exploiter aspect on helm, and Shared Misery on boots beside previous ones used Disobedience and Ever Living. DPS aspects, Control or Accelerating on gloves, Edgemaster on weapon, Tether on amulet, and keep both mana sustain aspects sure on ancestral rings with critical chance and maximum life priority. On the pet stones, like said, I did not focus yet leveling the stones, and as it is only a leveling build, I favor utility. We'll see when I start create my tier 100 builds if any good synergy with maxed stones and sure with the better stones than I randomly got. The skill tree from this point is same till endgame. First 2 points are irrelevant, they just to unlock core skills. Potent warding passive for early on extra resistances. In the very end of Paragon or my future tier 100 builds, all the resistances I will make them maxed cap from Paragon. But in the leveling process and with low glyphs, you need focus resistances on gear and gems. Have at least 50% all resistances once you go level 70+. I will show next the Paragon with only 2 boards that is expected to have between LVL 60 and 70. Favor to rush legendary nodes, then glyph spots. The first glyph spot dexterity points are optimized for level 1 glyph, so we have it activated from start. Focus leveling glyphs, territorial, exploit, destruction, control, and for later elementalist and charged. I did not had exploit glyph drop at that point in time, so on the second glyph spot priority, exploit glyph. Then on the ceaseless conduit 3rd board, as you progress, grab legendary node first, then glyph spot for destruction. In the video end at Gear Showcase when I was level 70+ can see 3rd board. Remember, this build is for efficient leveling to 100 that does not and will not require any uniques to work and will be a smooth leveling process even to 100. But sure, at any point after 70+, if grab some uniques can easy transit to whatever build in game. I will make some notes about what uniques to maybe chase in this video and on the showcase of my gear I had on 70+. Also will have my tier 100 chain lightning build soon on my channel, plus many other builds for other source skills tier 100. Like said earlier, from 60 to 70, your goal is to grab the proper ancestral items and imprint the aspects that can hold you even till level 100. After upgrade, all gear to ancestral items can do any content already. Hell-Tide if want Duriel mats or materials for reroll gear, Nightmare dungeons or vaults, but for efficiency, try keep it at most 10 levels above your level. After 70+ focus level glyphs in Nightmare dungeons or vaults, but keep improved gear to specially weapon. After this short showcase gameplay, Nightmare dungeons will show the gear I had from 70+. At first, when transit from sacred items into World Tier 4 ancestral items, do not care too much about affixes. If have at least 2 recommended affixes, they are very good. You will look for better affixes improvements after level 70. For that, try use more codex aspects till you get better affixes ancestral gear. In early stages of World Tier 4 priority for ancestral items are resistances, ensure most important critical chance and maximum life. Later on, when have higher power level items, chase also for the items to include the other affixes, damage reductions, armor, cooldown reduction, and all others I recommend in 3rd planner. Keep in mind the 3rd planner Paragon for level 70 plus is optimal for when have low-level glyphs, and it only suits one that want to level efficient. Once glyphs are leveled, needs to be optimized. I will post soon my tier 100 chain lightning build and gameplay that will have Paragon 4 and with maxed glyphs levels. Next we'll show the gear I had at level 70. Few are still sacred items as did not drop any ancestral worth swap. On the weapon, I recommend Edgemaster as we will be full mana most of the times as we keep getting better gear or ring aspects. But if you have only the Codex version, use something else that drop high roll like me using Retribution, or can use Conceited or Shredding Blades for extra vulnerable damage that buffs, even if not have Ice Blade skill, or even use on weapon a high roll accelerating aspect. The reason why I choose to recommend Edgemaster here, it is because again, I say this is only an efficient leveling build, only goal of it is reach 100 or less for end game transition. You might want to farm some bosses or Durials on the way. Edgemaster helps better with them as it is almost no condition. Also, another reason is to keep some other maybe more valuable high roll aspects for very end game when do better synergies with uniques items too. On the boots, shared misery for even more stun spread. Try get resistances depending on your other gear too, movement speed and ranks of teleport. For very end-game builds, tier 100 that I will post soon on my channel can add Isu boots unique for critical chance or flicker step unique. On the pants, maximum life and damage reductions, or if need to fix resistances. And use ever-living aspect as it is almost permanent damage reduction. Look to get Thibaut pants unique to add it in build for very end-game. Once get the unique Thibaut pants, replace the ring prodigy mana aspect with DPS aspect. Keep in mind, while you add uniques to build, you need grab extra resistances from Paragon to cover up the missing ones. My future tier, 100 builds as they all will, include uniques will all have the resistances capped from Paragon. No resistances need on gear but on this leveling build. And overall in the leveling process you need care about adjusting resistances. On the gloves, control aspect or accelerating with affixes, priority critical chance, ranks of chain lightning, attack speed, and if use control glyph in Paragon, get affix lucky hit chance to slow, or intelligence affix if not use control glyph yet. On the chest, maximum life, armor, damage reductions, or if need adjust resistances more. As they intend to add Gauntlet into game, that looks will be leaderboard event for low tier 70s dungeons. Probably Raiment unique chest will be a good pick for most builds and give up some defenses. You can add Raiment easy even in leveling as long you stick to max 10 levels above you. Exploiter aspect on helm and for affixes priority cooldown reduction, armor, maximum life, lightning spear ranks or crowd control duration. Now on unique helms to chase for very end-game sure. Shaco uber unique if can handle the grind for it. Otherwise Godslayer helm good to chase, but also the new Meteor unique helm Starfall Coronet. I will do soon and tier 100 build X Falls Chain Lightning Meteor, a combination of my X Falls Meteor build from previous season and Chain Lightning build. The Chain Lightning lucky hit with Devouring Blaze can do crazy synergy for such build. And in general, even if you will not play my builds, that helm looks fun to experiment in more combinations of skills. On the amulet tether aspect and priority affixes, cooldown reduction, mana cost reduction, movement speed, and in damage reduction affix, or plus rank of conjuration mastery affix. Movement speed, even though not as powerful as last season, it still helps in leveling process a lot. On both rings, mandatory critical chance. Then priority maximum life and any 2 additive damage that have high uptime like lightning, vulnerable, critical. Replace the prodigy aspect with Storm's Well DPS aspect if you do get mana cost reduction on amulet or boots or unique Thibaut pants. This change do it as soon you feel mana sustain is overkill. It matters your gear, mana cost reductions, Critical chance also how much your playstyle picks up crackling energy. I choose in the planner to fit both mana sustain rings even on leveling over 70 plus for everyone to be very comfortable, mana sustain in leveling. Sure, if you do get unique Tal Rasha ring or Uber Starless ring, give up on legendary ring. If play Tal Rasha, add Ice Blades in bar instead of Ice Armor for cold as third element buff, or swap Chain Lightning enchantment for Ice Blades enchantment. Now the Paragon I had at level 70 plus, first 3 boards. Rush the legendary nodes, then the glyph spots, as you will have low glyph levels. The starting board and third board is optimized for low-level glyph to be activated. The full Paragon board for leveling is in the third planner in description of video. I will focus next to create my tier 100 builds for this season. First tier 100 build Chain Lightning very soon, then after it the tier 100 for all previous skills that I had builds for in last season, like Meteor, Ball Lightning, Charge Bolts, Fireball, and Blizzard, plus maybe new builds on Ice Shards and Incinerate, and some variations if time allows me this season. Thank you all for your support and for watching.